Bathroom projects cost a lot of money. They're small rooms. They're the second most detailed room in your house, and they're a lot of work. In this thing of trying to save money on your projects is real for a lot of people because you're looking at rooms that are, 5 by 8, 6 by 10 that are going to cost you 20 or $30,000. So if there's something you want to undertake yourself, I'm here to help guide you through that process. And this is dedicated to my friends, Jamie and Carolyn, who are looking to do their own bathroom project in the near future. So my friend explained to me that he was going to try to do some of this stuff on his own to save some money. And I said, well, why don't we chat? Why don't we talk about it? I'll point you in the right direction. Well, somebody hasn't really called lately, and I'm doing this for them. Now, we're going to go through, in a previous video, we talked about the phases of your bathroom renovation, right? The different subtasks within that: demolition, framing, insulation, all of that stuff. We're going to go through and we're going to say which ones are a good idea and not a good idea to undertake. I would love to tell you I have some fancy rating system, but I'll work on that later. So the first phase is always going to be demolition. I think this is a phase that a lot of people who are interested could undertake. It is physically demanding, and you have a lot of prep to do to keep your space outside of your bathroom clean. You need to have lots of floor protection and dust protection methods. And how are you going to get all the garbage out without making a mess everywhere? Highly recommend getting 5-gallon buckets and not big garbage cans, getting the industrial garbage bags, all that kind of stuff to help you along the process. A vacuum. The tools to do it aren't that expensive. The effort it's going to take is not super time consuming, but it is effort heavy. And having a little understanding of how things go in order to take them out helps. There's YouTube videos all around. You can figure this out. You want to make sure you have enough protection for your eyes, for your ears, for your head, for your hands, so that it doesn't end up in disaster. So if you're somebody who's moderately handy, who's done a little bit of labor, demo is definitely something you can undertake. You're going to spend, or it's going to cost you 1,500 or 2 Gs to demo a bathroom through a contractor because, one, it sucks to do. Two, it needs to be done. And three, you got to dispose of everything. So I give it a middle of the road. If you're willing to put that effort in, it's great. Your next phase is going to be framing. Framing is, again, depends on your knowledge. If your knowledge is high or you're willing to do research, framing may not be that difficult. Because if you're not moving anything, if you're just rebuilding a bathroom in place, you shouldn't have much framing to do. Maybe you're framing a chase wall for a shower return or something like that. Framing is something you can, if you have a little bit of know-how or you have somebody who can show you what to do or some research, you could do it. The ones I'm going to tell you to stay away from are going to be your plumbing, HVAC, and electrical. Those ones, where I live in Ontario, you need a license to operate, to do, because there's a lot of liability involved. If you assume the risk by doing it, you are liable. If something goes wrong, your home insurance is going to say, who did the renovation? And you're going to say, you're assuming the liability, and your home ownership insurance policy may be like, yeah, this is on you. You did something wrong. You flooded your main floor. We can't help you. So understand that's what goes with it. When you hire a licensed tradesperson to do those, one, they're 100% going to be faster than you. Two, they're going to know more. Three, they're going to assume the liability by doing the project. Now, remember, if you pay people cash, there is no warranty. There's no liability. They are, in theory, not there because you paid them in cash. And that's why it was cheaper. So I would avoid paying those people in cash. If you want to be daring and undertake it, just understand the risks. Maybe for your electrical, if you're just taking the existing lights out and reinstalling in the same place, maybe you want to deal with that. I do not. My fingers are not built for wiring. I pay the right people to do it. I'm done. Once you're done with electrical, HVAC, and plumbing, now if you want to undertake it and you want to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and go for it, awesome. I stay away from that. And I'm somebody who's been in this industry a long time. Yes, it could save me money, but I don't have the tools and I don't have the time or the extensive knowledge to do the things I want to do. Insulation is next. So, shout out to the world of insulators. Thank you very much because insulating stuff sucks. It's itchy. It's not complicated. Insulation, vapor barrier, tuck tape. You want to make sure you do those. With bathrooms, I want to warn you, if you're going to take down your ceiling, what else is coming down is all the insulation. So you will have to re-insulate your ceiling. So think about if you really need to pull down the ceiling, or if you just want to go over it or leave it in place, or do you have attic access so that you could do a few things? Just a thought. So insulation is something you can do. It doesn't take any crazy tools. You need a stapler, you need a knife, you need tuck tape, a mask, glasses. You're pretty good to go. And those are things you're going to have for everything else. After insulation comes drywall. So hanging the drywall, and I'm going to use my friend Jamie as an example, is something he's done and something he can do. He's very capable. He's got enough DIY experience to do it and do it properly. The reason you want to do it properly is because once you hit the taping phase, whether you're doing it or someone else, how the board is hung will impact how much taping there is to do. It is a small room. You probably have a piece or two of corner bead. You have lots of corners. You have cutouts for your plumbing, all of that stuff. You'll have waterproofing to do at the same phase. So hanging the board, I'm going to say is more DIY friendly, but not super DIY friendly because you're operating in a small room. It is very, very expensive to drywall a small room for hiring somebody because it's a small job. And if you're going to get a boardman in there, they're not coming for nothing. Why are they going to come board a bathroom for half a day when they can board a whole house? Because they get paid by the square foot. Not a lot of square footage in a bathroom. So they're going to overcharge to go do it because they're not doing something somewhere else. Or if you are going to get them, they're going to come on their spare time or on the weekend and make that money. So just be advised. And if you're hiring a contractor, understand why drywall is that expensive. Next is taping. If you can afford to pay someone to tape, I would pay them because your drywall is what you're going to be looking at the whole time. Yes, you're going to paint it, but the taping by far is the one that is underestimated in just how hard it is to do. So I would say if you can pay somebody, pay them. And if you do the board and you hang it crappy, they're going to charge you more. That's just how it goes. So understand that. The waterproofing is a part of the drywall hanging stage that I include, or I include it in that. So depending on the waterproofing you're going to put in, it could be expensive. It could be not expensive. It's like hanging drywall if you're doing dense shield or cement board. If you're doing a weedy system or Schluter or Tile Ready or some of those, I would seriously think about paying whoever you're going to have install your tiles to install the waterproofing system. That is the best way to go if they are willing to do it. If you are hiring somebody to tile, waterproofing systems are not overly complex. What you do not have is the experience with the tools and the dexterity. And I would say the same thing about taping is the tools and the dexterity are what make it hard and the experience. And you as a DIYer probably do not have those. So I would advocate at that point or advise at that point for you to hire somebody. After that, we're on to paint. Paint is uncomplicated. And not that it's easy, and I don't want to disregard what painters do because I am not a great painter. And the truth is, with drywall and paint, is you don't really realize how good they are because you're not supposed to really notice your walls. They're just walls. You never really think, well, look at the tape job in your living room. It's your walls are your walls. So it really kind of plays down the importance. I think for painting, it's an area you can save money. I'll highly advise using good quality paint because it's going to be truer to the color. It's going to cover better. It's going to be easier to put on. At the same time, whatever's in your budget. I'm not judging you. I personally believe in hiring painters. I try not to do as much work as possible. I'm better at organizing than I am actually doing the work outside of the framing and the carpentry. But just remember, painters, those guys, they do it faster than you because they do it every day. So in your schedule, if you're going to DIY it, expect for you to take longer than somebody who does it every day and calculate that into your timeline. After paint, we're getting into floor and tile. So if you're using tile on your floor and tile on your walls, there's a lot of tools, there's a lot of expertise, there's a lot of skill, there's a lot of manipulating the tools properly that goes into it. And I personally, again, think like taping, pay somebody. It's the thing you're going to notice the most. If it's a crappy tile job, you're going to be staring at it for years. A crappy paint job you can fix. Crappy walls you can fix. You can repair. A crappy tile job you can't. It is the most expensive part of your bathroom renovation that you're going to pay for. I still think you should pay for it. Once the tile's done, we're into a little bit of trim because you're going to put a vanity in. Remember, the plumber does plumbing. They don't put vanities in. They connect the plumbing to the vanity, but they don't put the vanity in. So if you are doing your own project and you're hiring a plumber, you need to get the vanity up and in place for them to then come and hook it up. So read the directions. If you show up and there's a vanity in the garage and you're like, hey, you're here for the plumbing, great. And they're like, where's the vanity? Oh, it's in the garage. Are you going to get it up here? No, I thought that was your job. No, carrying vanities is not plumbing. It's not plumbing pipes. It's not water lines. We connect them, but we don't do that. Keep that in mind. So the plumbing finish is something that if your plumber is willing to hook up the shutoffs, you can do. It is not easy. It's not super hard. Again, we're getting into warranty issues. If you just misconnect the drain or misconnect the water lines and they leak all over the floor, guess what? You're the one on the hook for that because you chose to do it, not the plumber. Unless the shutoff leaks. If the shutoff leaks and they did the shutoff, well, that's on them. So you have to make sure you're outlining who's doing what and who did what. But the trim is a small thing. It's a small room. What makes it expensive to do and why you might want to think about doing it is it's like 2 pieces of baseboard, maybe 3 sometimes, or, not a ton of baseboard. Maybe you have a door to case, you have a window to case. You're going to pay like $1,000. Because for me, as a contractor, as a carpenter, one, it's on your second floor. So all my tools got to be outside. My chop saw, my table saw, whatever I'm using, they're all outside. So everything I'm doing, I'm up the stairs and down the stairs. That is something in my mind that if you have a little bit of skill and you can rent the tools or you have the tools, would be to do that yourself. I'm thinking of my friend Jamie, who I know can do this, and I would suggest him doing it. After that, you get your electrical finish. They're going to hook up the lights. HVAC, really in a bathroom, depending on how old it is, you're not going to relocate a heat run probably. You're most likely you need a bathroom fan. So they're going to be venting a bathroom fan. If it's on a second floor, you got to vent it through the roof, pay them. It's got to go up through your attic. It's got to go out. Not interested. So your most DIY friendly phases to your bathroom as we get to the end of this are painting, demolition, maybe hanging drywall, maybe doing trim. Okay. Insulation, After that, everything else, I would honestly think about paying somebody just because they are complicated projects to do. Small rooms, lots of details. You got cabinets, you got flooring, you got walls, you got tiles, you got drywall, paint, et cetera, et cetera. So you get your bathroom hardware you want to put on, like your towel holders and all of that. That's something you could do. So that being said, I hope this helps you along your path to getting your bathroom done and enjoy the rest of your day.